Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Shaman Durek, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. It's an honor, and I am so appreciative to be able to hold space for our beautiful, powerful, amazing, loving community. It's really, 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 really special to be able to show up for you. And I just want you all to know, I know we're going through a lot of things right now on the planet again. And what Spirit keeps reminding me is that there is a bigger plan taking place, even though we can be triggered. We may not like what we see, it may get under our skin. But what we have to understand is this, is that Spirit has a plan. And what Spirit has educated me on, which is something I want to share with you, is that we have to understand that if Spirit has a plan, and we may not like what we see, and that's the whole thing about life, right? Is that we always have these ideas about what we want and how we want things to be, but Spirit knows exactly what has to take place in order to move us to a higher level of consciousness. And on our planet, and I've said this many times and I'm going to say it again, on our planet, we have a situation where we don't grow through love yet. Some of us do. I'm not saying we all don't, but some beings on earth need to be triggered, need to get upset, need to get things under their skin, need to make things make them annoyed so that they want to develop their emotional intelligence. They want to step into a place where they create more peace for their nervous system and for their being. They want to be able to see change. And sometimes people have to go through a lot of uncomfortable things on planet Earth in order to see that change. And yeah, it sucks that people have to get hurt and it sucks that people have to die. But again, let me remind you that we are eternal beings. We are not just beings that perish and disappear and we're never going to be seen of again. We're eternal beings. We sign up for these lifetimes, we sign up for these experiences so that we can help grow and evolve not only our planet, but other galaxies, other planets, and other dimensions of consciousness. And so sometimes it doesn't make sense to you, or it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people what's happening on the planet because we're only seeing through a tiny little keyhole of what is really going on with our Earth and what's going on with the things that we are experiencing, the calamities, and the pain and the suffering that people are going through. But again, please trust in the knowledge and understanding that there is a bigger plan at hand. We are eternal beings. We take on different levels of life, from choosing to be male or female at different times in evolution. And sometimes we even choose at different times to be different types of beings in order for us to be able to lift consciousness. And we don't have in the spirit world this idea of right and wrong. That's something we've created based on our subjective experiences individually and collectively. What we do have is the awareness of lifting vibrational fields that are out of alignment. And sometimes those vibrational fields get lifted in ways that we don't want to accept. Sometimes there's a tsunami or a hurricane or something because even Mother Nature has to make shifts. And in those shifts that she makes, lives get lost, people get hurt, things go wrong. And what we have to do is that we have to start understanding that we may not understand why different polarized leaders and different people who are operating out of consciousness are running things and making things happen on our planet. But there are different energies and spirits that are supporting a bigger picture. And the influences and energies that we see may not be clear to us why those things are chosen and why those things are happening. But what we can be aware of is what we do and how we respond and how we interact with each other, with ourselves, and with the people around us. And look, we are at the year of the fire horse. And like, there's no joke here. I mean, come on. We don't have time for nonsense anymore. I don't have time to listen to people's, their little like whining and their little issues and their things of that. And I just simply ask the people a simple question. Yes, there's things happening in the world. Yes, there's things going on that you don't like, but what are you doing? What are we doing as individual people? Because all of that other stuff that's going on, where people are just complaining and complaining and complaining. And as I've said before, complaining is draining. It's draining because there's no real true insight to those complaints other than just complaining. It's one thing to complain about something or not like something. Like if you don't like what people are doing to women, which I don't like at all, right? And I don't like it that people are disrespecting women on planet Earth on any level. I don't like that when men look at women, and not all men, but a great different men who out there doing it. I can't say a certain majority, but I'll just say men who are doing that, right? They don't see that women are powerful, offer great wisdom, intelligence, and foresight, and the ability to understand things intuitively in ways that men could grow from. You know, my wife said to me the other day, she said, a strong man is a man who's in touch with his emotional feminine side, because that's a man who doesn't put up with nonsense. That's a man who's not being controlled by other, these talking head men who up with this alpha energy. That stuff is nonsense. We want people who are in touch with their feminine, in touch with their masculine, balancing those energies, balancing their heart flame of love, wisdom, and power. We want people who are fully present in this life and not just operating from I'm going to complain and make opinions, but I'm not really doing anything to create the change that this planet needs. We have more than enough awareness, more than enough power, and more than enough ability to create that level of sustainability and substantial awareness. There's so many books, there's so many people out there who are sharing information. I mean, it's not only me, there's tons of people out there, including yourselves, who have the knowledge and ability to wake up consciousness on this planet. And so right now, if anyone's in your life who's just complaining and talking about things, just ask them a simple question. Just shut out the noise and ask them one simple question. What are you doing to create more love? What are you doing to lift the vibrational field? What are you doing to bring more kindness, generosity, love, nurturing, compassion, and awareness to planet Earth? Because if that is not the question at hand, everything else is nonsense. It's a waste of energy. It's a waste of your time. This is the year to get on the horse. And this isn't any kind of horse. This is the fire horse. This is fire. Fire represents burning away nonsense, burning away energies that don't serve you. It's about also courage and strength and power. And what we need right now is for more people to step into their power. And that's only going to happen when we start asking questions and stop listening to the nonsense. Asking questions, like when people have an issue with you, be like, what is it that you want from me? What is it that you seek from me right now? If someone's upset with you, I notice you're upset. What is it that you are asking of me right now? What do you need? Because trying to dance around people's emotions and tiptoe around people's insecurities, or trying to make people comfortable when no matter how much you do, they're never going to get comfortable, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. We've got to go higher. We've got to think better in ways that are so instrumentally profound, because we have the capability to do so. We have so much power in our being. God has given us free will. What does that mean? That means God has given you the stamp of approval. What are you seeking from the outside world that God hasn't already given you? God has said to you, your life is the stamp of approval that you deserve to live. If you deserve to live, that means your existence counts. So why are you seeking it from people outside of you? The value of your being, the value of who you are, what you believe in, and how you should feel about yourself should never be indicated on someone else's idea, because God is pure love. That means you have been given that authority of love. Authority of love. That means that I don't have to be so concerned about what anyone thinks about me or feels about me or whatever, because at the end of the day, I already know and understand that I've been given the authority of love. That means I've been given the life and the free will to make choices to either, one, be a person who uses my power incorrectly, my thoughts and my emotions in a malfunctioning way, or I can choose to focus my love on community and people, on myself, on my bonus kids, on my wife and my family, and the people that I can share my love and my wisdom and what may support you so freely, right? And we all have that capability. I don't want to hear any more people saying, is my life going to change? I don't know. Do you not know it's going to change? Do you not realize that God cannot handle your contradiction? If you want more success and wealth and prosperity in your life, then you need to believe that that is the truth. Because why? Because one signal goes to creation and creation answers that signal. But if you send a signal that I want a better life, but then in the back of your mind or later on talking to a friend, or maybe you're sitting down contemplating life and you think, is it going to happen? Then you're not a person of clarity. You're not a person who really decides what it is you want. You are choosing to be a contradiction to the universe, and the universe cannot bring into your life if you keep being a contradiction to your original thought, your original feeling, and your original action. It shouldn't be a question of, will I find love? It's yes, I will find love. And then the question you should be asking is, what do I need to change within myself to be open to that love? It's not a question of, will I be prosperous and wealthy in life and successful? It should be, of course I'm going to be successful. Of course I'm going to be prosperous. Of course I'm going to be wealthy. But what do I need inside of myself to shift and to change in my thinking, my belief systems, in order to be open to live that life? Do you hear me, my darlings? Because enough is enough. We have to raise the bar of spiritual transformation and awareness. It's not just going to meditate and clear your chakras and take some ayahuasca and think that's going to do it for you. Let me tell you something. You can take plant medicine until your head spins off, okay? But the plant medicine is only going to show you what things need to be shifted in you. At the end of the day, you've got to confront those aspects of yourself and bring them into alignment with your true desires. And if you have a hard time doing that, connect with the part of yourself that already exists quantumly, that is living the life that you want to live. Connect with the part of yourself that already loves you unconditionally. Connect with the part of yourself that knows that it loves and wants and experiences the truth that is the truth of love and the caring and the knowledge that you need in order to have within your being. We are quantum beings. We have to stop playing like we're stuck in one dimension and we don't exist in quantum dimensions. We keep playing this game because we were set up on a system since we were children, a system that robbed us of our true identity, one where we had to meet the ideas and expectations of other people based upon their dreams of us. Someone has a dream of what they think I should be, and I'm supposed to tiptoe and meet their expectations and try to be perfect in the eyes of what they believe when none of that is real. If I'm not living unapologetically to myself and my truth and my authenticity, how am I ever going to have someone really fall in love with me? They're going to fall in love with the idea of me that I think they want to see, or the idea that I thought my parents want to see, or my school teacher wanted to see, or any of one who I have given my authority to in this planet. We can't do that anymore. I have a webinar coming up on Thursday, just to sideline. Okay. I have a webinar coming up on Thursday, which is all about you claiming your authority and getting back into your authority. I don't know if you've ever been to any of my webinars or any of my healing temples. And if you haven't, that's okay. But I'm going to tell you this. I don't regurgitate information that's already out there. I go straight to spirit and get the new information that's right off the universal field of intelligence and bring it right to you. Because why? Because I can hear people talk about the same thing over and over and over and just give me a different version of it. I don't want that. I want real depth information. And of course, I'm a quadruple Scorpio. That makes sense of why I like to go very deep. I don't like having surface conversations, and I definitely don't like anything that's fake and phony. I believe in authenticity, and I believe what matters. And what matters is the heart. What matters is community. What matters is you. And so at this point in our evolution, are we going to continue to keep trying to dance around everyone's issues with us? Are we going to start being like, look, you have a problem with me. That's your choice to have that problem. Tell me what is that you want from me. If I can give it to you, I will. But if it's something that I can't and you're still upset with me, then be upset. Because at this point in time, we have no time for nonsense, exactly, fluff, and we have no time for running around trying to meet everyone's expectation of us. Because guess what? Someone's expectation of you may not be exactly what your soul wants. And if you're so busy trying to meet these expectations of other people, then you're going to miss out living your life. And you're going to get to a point in your life where you realize that your whole life has been one big giant fat lie because you never took the time to actually get to know what you like, what makes you happy, what music do you like, what food do you like, how do you want your body to look, how do you want to feel, where do you really want to live, what kind of lifestyle do you really want? Because you know what? People can say all kinds of things all day long. I've had people say to me things. They come up to me and talk to me about what's happening in the world and so forth. And I ask them one simple question. What are you doing to raise the vibration? What are you doing to create change? What are you doing to share more love with the world? What are you doing to counterbalance all the hate and the fear and the discrimination and all the things you see in the wars and everything you see? What are you doing to make this world a better place? I don't want to hear what you think about what you saw on TikTok and what this person said in their meetings and what this person is doing in the world. I don't give a flam fluky flammy flucky fluky flammy fla about it. What I care about is what are you doing to make this world a better place? Everyone is so emotionally charged. Why? Because we went through COVID. Yeah, we went through COVID and some of us didn't survive. And I love you and I'm sorry that you didn't survive in this physical body, but there's a lot of you who have. And let me tell you something. We went through COVID. We developed even stronger empathic energies. And you don't think that the system knows that? You don't think that the system is playing on every one of your emotions? They're waiting for you to react, react, react. Stop giving them a reaction. Just sit back or get some tea, make a cup of coffee, get some hot cocoa, get some cacao, whatever it is that you want to drink that makes your nervous system feel calm, and sit back and go, isn't that interesting what they're doing? Fascinating. They're trying to distract me right now. And I'm going to focus on what I am doing in this world, what I am doing for people, what I am doing for my family, what I am doing for my children, what I am doing for myself. You know how much I love you. And you know, like I tell it like it is. You know me. If you have spent time going into my courses and learning about the things that I am sharing with you to be the master that you were born to be, that you already are in another quantum energy that is waiting to anchor it into this dimension, you know that I do not play games. You know that I am a person who speaks it like it is. And you know that I will go down to the depths of darkness, into the deepest crevices of the most scariest, most nastiest, most vulgar things to look at the truth, to see what we have going on so that I can give you the tools and the information so that you can embody yourself as the leader of legacy that you were born to be. There is no reason why the universe would ever be against you. When I talk to the spirits that are operating multidimensionally, especially the spirit that operates in the possibility of your life being ever so grand and beautiful in every single way, what I can tell you is this, is that when I ask the spirits in the spirit world, is there any spirit in the spirit world that does not want to see you successful and happy? And you know what they tell me? They want you to be happy. They want you to be successful. They want every single one of your dreams to come true. And you know what they tell me? What gets in the way is you. We get in the way of spirit because we are spoiled brats. Now, you may think, oh, I'm not spoiled. I didn't grow up with money. Oh, no, but you're still spoiled. And let me tell you where the spoil comes in. The spoiled brat comes in because your little wah wah baby didn't get what you wanted because it didn't happen the way you wanted it to be, because you didn't trust that God had a plan for you to happen in the way that God wanted it to happen to you. Did you actually think that it was going to be exactly as you thought it was going to be? All God asks of you is to know what it is that you desire. Know what you desire and hold that without contradiction. And if you can do that, you will see the spirits put together the most beautiful plan for you. But people, they don't like to wait on God. No. Mm-mm. They don't wait on Mother and Father God. You know what they do? They sit there and they go, oh, I don't see it coming. I guess it's not going to happen. Oh, how come I'm having this dysfunctional relationship? You know why you're having a dysfunctional relationship? Because you're dysfunctional, because you are attracting what you have going on inside of you. That means that's how you're treating yourself. You don't want people abandoning you? Stop abandoning yourself. You want people to be truthful with yourself? Start being truthful with yourself. You want people to show up and be nurturing and loving to you? Start being loving and nurturing to yourself. Don't cry me a river when you have a person in your life who's talking to you any which way and talking to you in disrespectful ways, and you wonder why they're talking to you that way. That's because you're hard on yourself. That's because you're putting pressure on yourself and you're trying to be a perfectionist. So they're coming in to show you what you're doing internally. Internally. Okay? The world you see outside is a reflection of what you're doing in the spiritual world to yourself. And we exist on multi-dimensional spiritual levels. That means that if there's a part of your being that's controlling, you have to ask yourself, why are you controlling? Because you're afraid? Are you afraid of the unknown? Are you afraid of losing control? Because you're already out of control if you're a control freak. Because if you are trying to control everything in your life, you have already lost control. That means that you are so afraid that you are blocking your blessings and you're blocking the opportunity for great things to show up. There's no reason on any level that you should be limiting yourself from the greatness that life wants to show you. You say, oh, some people say to me, oh, Shaman Durek, I don't have any friends. You know why you have no friends? Because you're up in your head creating all kinds of stories and narratives that are fake, false, and not real. Because let me tell you something. I don't know a lot of people who think that spirituality is all woo-woo and boo-boo. But let me tell you something. Spirituality has facts. And let me tell you the facts. When you say, I feel like there's a negative energy in the room because you feel heaviness, that's not facts, boo. That's you creating some story about something negative without actually confronting it and seeing if it is negative. You cannot make stories and diagnosis anymore unless you have facts. Spirituality is about facts. I'm sorry. When someone comes to me and says, I'm sorry, but I just don't believe that, Shaman Durek, I'm a skeptic. Are you really? Oh, I'm a person. I think really logical. Do you think logical? Because a logical person would have done their due diligence to see if something is real or not. You're just a scared person who's scared of the unknown. So shut up and stop acting like you're this logical being, because you're not. Because at the end of the day, truth is truth. And lies are lies. And humans are really good at creating lies. And we create lies all the time. We create narratives that don't exist. We walk into rooms and we think people don't like us when we don't really know the truth, if they do or not. But we're creating in our head. So we create the emotions. So we get emotionally upset. People create depression because they're not really honoring their truth and honoring what it is that they really need and the value of who they are. So they're giving that value over to other people. And then they wonder why they're depressed and sad. People are living in environments that they don't really want to be in. It's freezing cold and they have seasonal depression. Then why are you living in a season that makes you depressed? People create stories where they get in relationships with people and say, that person hurt me. No, they didn't hurt you. They're just showing who they are. You hurt you because you took every single word they said as truth. And that's why you're hurt. You know why you're hurt? Because the part of your being that knows that's all bullshit can't believe you had the nerve to actually respond, react, and even take any of it in. It's nonsense. It's lies, but you took it in, but now you want to blame the other person for hurting you. You open yourself up and give to everyone. And then you make comments to me like, Shaman Durek, I can't believe that person doesn't give to me. First of all, did you think life was based on transactional giving? Did you actually believe that that person should give to you as equally as you give to them? I'm sorry, but when I take people out to dinner, I'm not expecting anything in return other than the fact that they're having a good time and enjoying their meal. And if they ever decide to take me out to dinner, I'm open and receptive to it. If they decide to do something to me, I'm open and receptive to it. But do I have a back of my mind like, oh, well, I took everyone out to dinner. I'm always taking care of the check. Why don't they ever take care of the check? No, that means I am not truly giving. I am giving with transaction. I am basing my reality of love towards each person individually based upon what they do for me, on what I do for them. And that's not a relationship. That is a form of transactional relationship. It's not based on authenticity and it's not real. So if you get hurt by that, it's on you, boo. Okay? Especially when people go into situations where they go and they like someone and then they wonder why that person doesn't like them. And then they go around trying to do everything they can to get that person to like them. Let me tell you something. And I'm going to be very clear with you about this. When it comes to relationships, the way I found the love of my life, which is my wife, who I married, who I courted for 8 months until she gave me the time to really sink in and dig deep if I'm ready to be a bonus father and ready to live this life with her and until death do us part. Let me tell you something that I had to come into awareness of, which is one, I dated many people, tumultuous relationships, some interesting relationships, some very fake, false relationships, dating certain models at different times when I was modeling, just kind of like these things that were inauthentic. And I used to always get hurt by these people. And then what it really dawned on me is when I went to spirit and asked what, the spirit that governs my heart, emotions, and my relationship ties that I actually create in this lifetime. And you know what that spirit said to me? Spirit said, the reason why you get hurt is because you keep hurting yourself. And I said, why? They said, because you do so much inauthentic things to make that person happy that it's not the real you. So you're letting people fall in love with a false image of you, an image of you that is not real. And that's why you're attracting fake people, because they're doing the same thing. So you know what? I started being authentic. This is who I am. This is what I'm about. I'm not trying to people please you. I'm not trying to win you over. I'm not trying to say the right thing that makes you like me. This is what you get. And you know what? My girlfriend, who became my wife, was like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. And that's authenticity. That's how you attract the partner that is building a foundation with you that is based in transparency and honesty and loyalty and caring and loving and growth and evolution. You can't evolve with someone if you're not willing to evolve within yourself. People argue all the time, and I say to myself, because sometimes I hear people argue for friends of mine, I'm like, you guys are just such a waste of energy and time on this planet with these really bickering arguments. You're not even arguing for wisdom. You're not even arguing to gain different perspectives. You're arguing to be right. Yay. I mean, you guys, seriously? I mean, we have like Hollywood and we have all of these, award ceremonies. We should have award ceremonies for those who are the most right. Because at the end of the day, who cares? Like, I don't want to sit here and listen to people bicker and argue about dumb stuff because none of you guys are seeking wisdom. None of you guys are seeking intelligence for each other's knowledge and different points of view. I mean, my wife tells me things that I may not agree with, and there's things that she may not agree with, but we don't need to argue about it. We simply go, okay, so let's look at each other's point of view. I'll go do some research on your point of view. You do some research on mine, and let's come back and talk about it again. But there's no reason to argue. What are you going to argue with someone you love? Then obviously you really don't love them if you want to play the right game, because right is nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It's a big old boost for your ego temporarily. And then you'll create another argument to boost your ego up again so you can be right again. My wife is right about pretty much 95% of everything that comes out of her mouth. And I respect that because I when I'm wrong. And she's just like, you see, I showed you. And I love when she says that. I told you so. And I was like, yeah, and I'm glad you did, because you know why? It helps me to grow. But at the end of the day, I don't really care if that makes her happy to know that she's right, which she is. Most women are usually right because women see things that most men don't see. Sometimes she says, you know what? I don't even need to have a conversation with you about this. I'll just go to the spirits and tell the spirits to demonstrate it for you. And then I get the lesson and I come back. I was like, oh, you were right. And it's not an ego thing. It's just her acknowledging her wisdom. I acknowledge her wisdom. We have to acknowledge each other's greatness. And one other thing I want to share with you, my darlings, because I really want you to really grasp this. You have a friend who gives you relationship advice. That friend has never had a really solid relationship that's based in love, transparency, and honesty, and truly like standing as a power couple together and honoring their sacredness to our Mother, Father, God. Why are you listening to them? You have a friend who gives you business advice, but they've never had a successful business. They haven't even made $1 million. Why are you listening to that person? You have someone who says, oh, I can do healing on you. I want to do healing on you. But they themselves aren't showing that they are willing to be transparent in their own healing and so forth. But they're just talking heads. What the hell are you listening to? We have to start being aware of energy. We are energy masters. Energy masters means that you pay attention to energy. Pay attention to what exactly you're putting your mind to. What are you listening to? Why are you listening? What is the purpose for any of that to exist. My wife's Instagram is I am Martha Louise. What is the purpose of it? What is the purpose of listening to someone who has no authority to speak on what they're talking about, and yet you're taking it in? That's what I used to think about my parents when I was young. My dad would say something, my stepmom would say something, and I would sit back and go, did that come from love? Did that come from like empowering me? Did that come from a place of true wisdom? Or did that just come from their own personal issues? Did it just come from a place of wanting to be in control? Or did that come from a place of them just operating out of their own abuse that they didn't even heal within themselves? I'm not going to take in what you say as truth. You have no authority to speak to me on this matter. I remember talking to this one minister once, and he was trying to tell me about God and God's love. And I said, that's really beautiful. And I was really getting into it and everything. And then he started talking to me how God punishes and sends people to hell and all that. And I'm like, oh, wait, you lost me. You're going to sit here and talk about God's love, and then in the next sentence, talk about people going to hell and being burned in the fiery pit and being sinners and all that. How does that antiquate to love? So you said God loves unconditionally, but then now God loves conditionally? That's a contradiction. And any form of contradiction that I see, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta dismiss that. I'm sorry. Let's just stick with God's love. How about that? Let's just focus on God's love. If you say God's omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient, and God loves unconditionally, don't tell me in 2 sentences later that God has conditional love based on sexuality, race, or people's choice in life when God gave us free will. So you're saying God gave us free will, but God's like, oh, but I gave you free will, but you can't use that free will unless I tell you how to use it. Then that's not free will. So then everything is a contradiction. No, God never has forgotten about you. That's nonsense. You have forgotten about you, and you have forgotten to keep your mind focused on what it is you desire. You had contradictions in the way you're thinking, and that's why you're getting the results that you're getting. You want to see real change? Start learning to be the change that you seek. That means what? That means get yourself in the right alignment with the universe. You are not going to get what you want if you operate in contradiction. Someone asked me earlier today, am I going to ever find the person I love? And I asked the spirits for the sake of asking. I said, spirits that governs her heart, emotions, and her relationships of what comes in and what goes out. Is she going to have the relationship she ultimately wants? And spirit goes, if she has to ask that question, beloved child of light, then she obviously is not aligned with what we have to say to her. I was like, because it's true. You see? Because if you have to ask spirit that means you don't have clarity on it. And if you don't have clarity, spirit can't bring it to you. Because look, spirits aren't there to change your mind unless you are open to the wisdom they have to impart on you. And most people don't open their mind because they don't want to see the places where they make mistakes because they want to be perfect. So they're so busy controlling what spirit says to them that they go, I can't hear spirit. I can't hear spirit. It's not that you can't hear spirit. If you can hear a human being and you can hear a dog barking, you can hear spirit. The issue is that you don't believe you're either talking to spirit, you think you're making it up, or you don't want to hear what spirit has to say, because guess what? Spirit will call you out on your nonsense if you're open to correction. But if you're a person who wants to always be seen in the light, love and light, I'm perfect, I'm amazing, I'm spiritually growing, I did that work already, I went to that seminar, I did the inner work, I did this, I did that, then you are a person who did a lot of and a lot of, and you're so glorified on your need to see yourself a certain way, you can't listen to the instruction that spirit has. But I can tell you as plain as day, if you've taken any of my webinars online at shamandurek.com in the Shaman School, where I teach you how to talk to spirit and do a lot of the things that I'm talking about, a dog can bark and a person can speak to you, you can hear spirit. You can hear God. You can hear the angels. You can hear the trees. You can hear everything. The question is, you just chosen not to hear it. For whatever reason it may be. It could be because you're scared of the unknown and you don't want to admit it, because you're afraid of losing control and you don't want to admit why you're afraid of control because you're scared. You don't want to listen to anyone tell you what to do because you think when a spirit is telling you something that you feel like, oh, I didn't do enough, I'm not good enough. And so because you don't want to, because you're in self-judgment and you're in judgment of being perfect, that you feel that anytime someone tells you something that is about correcting you and making you and sharpening you and making you more refined and making your life even better, you just so focused on that I didn't do it good enough or I should have known better. Spirit doesn't want to hear that from you. When people come in session with me and they can't even hear the messages that Spirit is saying, or they come into my webinar or a healing temple, or they come onto my lives and I bring them up on stage and they don't want to hear what's being said to them, that's because they don't want to hear what's being said to them. It's because they're so busy trying to be perfect and they're so in self-judgment of themselves that anything they feel that they didn't do right, they just want to block it out. And that's why people go through so much suffering, because they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. You know why? Again, because you don't want to be told what to do. You think Spirit telling you instructions is telling you what to do. No, Spirit is wanting to see your life improve. You're sitting here complaining and complaining and complaining. And yet Spirit's like, we have the answers for you. We have everything for you. We even send people in your life with higher intelligence to share this information with you so you can get up to that level of intelligence and emotional intelligence and operate from your divine self. But no, you don't want to hear anything unless it fits the narrative that you've been telling about yourself. Trust me, I know, I've been there. Everything I tell you, I've been there. I've been through all kinds of dysfunctional friends. I've been through all kinds of dysfunctional relationships. I've been dysfunctional to myself. I've made choices that are contrary to my best interest. And I've also been a contradictor. So when you hear it from someone like me who's telling it to you truth, I'm not sitting here as a holier than thou, I know better and I'm better than you. We're in this thing together. I don't play this hierarchy game of I'm a shaman, you're a healer, you written like I don't care. I don't care how many books you wrote. I was talking to my publisher the other day and I said, I'm not the person to write one book after book after book after book after book. That's not me. I write when Spirit tells me to write. I'm not that. I don't need that. I don't care about that. What matters to me is authenticity. That's where I come from. That's how I operate. That's where I come from. You understand? So when Spirit is operating in that space with me, I say, okay, tell me where it is that I don't see things that I'm doing that are not in the highest light. And Spirit drops it on me like it's hot. They just like, drop it like it's hot, baby. We don't say these things to you because we're trying to hurt you. We're saying these things to you because we love you. And if you can't hear those things from Spirit because you're so busy self-judging yourself that you can't hear Spirit because you're afraid that you haven't done something right, then you're not ready to evolve and grow. I don't care how much ayahuasca, how much iboga, how much bufo, and how much things you put peyote and whatever stuff people are taking today and think they're enlightened are taking when they haven't even moved from 1 to 10 because they think that those medicines are actually healing them. No, what heals you is getting the knowledge that the medicines are teaching you. But what heals you is you interacting with the information that you've been given and coming from a place of love and stepping into a place of awareness and stop blaming everyone around you and start taking some active responsibility and accountability for what you are doing to yourself. That is limiting God, our mother, father God, our child God, that loves you unconditionally, Jesus and Allah and all the divine beings that you want to call out. You want to call it and Brahma. You want to call in Shango, Elegua, Yamaya. You want to call in all of them. Look, they're here to support you, but you also have to show up and be accountable. You're not going to get them to just do the work for you. No. Because what they're doing is the love for you, but they're not going to just do it for you while you sit back and just hope that they clean up your mess. You came here with awareness and consciousness. Use it. Stop getting distracted and pulled away from the things that don't matter. Yes, there's things happening in our world. Oh, it's like a whole cyclone around me. I don't care. I'll be the eye of the storm, sitting like a little Buddha in the center and watching humanity play out all of its calamities and all of its gripes and all of its issues and all of its on the grand stage of the Greek theater. while I'll be continuing sharing love, continuing sharing wisdom, continue being there for my kids, continue being there for my wife and my family and for you and for myself exactly 100% for the universe. People want to act fools, let them act fools. But if it's getting under your skin and upsetting you, then you are being pulled into the maya of nonsense. People want to say things, let them speak it, let them say it. People say things to me all the time. That's just because where they are in their evolution. That's probably because of what all the gook they have inside of them, all the blackness inside of them that they themselves can't deal with. So they have to spew it out and try to project their stuff on. Just because someone projects on you doesn't mean you have to take it in. People project on me all the time. All the time. I'm like, that's interesting. Hmm. And are you done? You are? Okay, great. Perfect. I'll get back to doing the things that I love to do, whatever that may be. If that's meditating with my wife, if that's using my spirit optimizer. And by the way, if you don't know about my spirit optimizers, let me tell you something. The pink optimizer, I was using it today, creating coherence. Have you ever created coherence with the spirit optimizer? You're talking about creating coherence with the part of your being that loves you, the part of your being that is connecting you to wealth and prosperity. If you don't have a spirit optimizer, that people talk about Reiki and all these different things. This is the new Reiki. This is the new thing. This is what Spirit divinely gave to me on the top of the mountain of Ephesus, where Mother Mary spent her last days, and told me to hide it from the world for 17 years, the symbol of the Quintarium, and connect with my friend who put all the nature pieces together to create the Spirit optimizer to create change in people's lives. And if you're not privy to it and you're not hip to what's going on, you better get hip, baby, because there's a movement happening right now globally and we are making changes. And I was today with my wife, we were using the Spirit Optimizer, having the most amazing experience. So many powerful things happen for us. I'm telling you, it's next level. This goes back to my original thought. There's so much out there. There's no reason for you not to evolve. There's so much going on in the world. There's so many things you can get pulled into. So many things, but you don't have to. There's so many powerful people in the world who come from authenticity, and there's a lot of people who come from just ego. And you got to know the difference. And you'll know the difference because people who are spiritual and in the health and wellness world who talk about things to you but don't ever come into a place of like realness with you, that's ego. People who are operating in the spirit world who are willing to call out their own bullshit and speak truthfully and be honest with you and be authentic about their own stuff. You know, not every single day do I feel good, but I use a lot of the tools that I have spiritually to get myself back in the right place. And that's what I want for you. Like, not every day is going to be the best day because your perception of it may be a little off, right? Sometimes we think something bad happened to us and it actually was good for us. I've had those moments. Sometimes we find ourselves moving our mind over to lack and limitation, and you just have to catch yourself. Just like if you drove off in your car in the wrong direction, you got to get back in the right direction to go where you need to go. Sometimes we get lost, you know, when we're driving. So we got GPS. What is our GPS? God. What is our GPS? Spirit guides. What is our GPS? The Orishas. What is our GPS? The divine spirits, all the masters, all of the divine spirits. There's billions of them waiting for you to call on them. Call on them. Like I said right now, divine beings, are you waiting on all of the people to stop thinking they have to do it all alone and call on you? They said that's their greatest joy, is for you to be able to realize that you're not alone. Why would you ever think you're alone? Even if you were abandoned. I had abandonment in my childhood. And you know what I learned from that abandonment? To stop abandoning myself. I thought if my mom left me at 2 years old, then something must be wrong with me. So then I started thinking that I started abandoning myself for everyone else's ideas and authorities. And then I finally realized the reason why I was suffering is because I was abandoning myself because I felt abandoned. Your GPS is God. Your GPS is the angels. Your GPS is the beautiful beings that are out there waiting for you to acknowledge them, call on them, and ask them to assist you in this time dimension. Well, I think you understand. If you want to know more about the SOs, you can reach out to me in a DM. If you want to know about things that, you know, we have going on, like we have the Lit Vibe activation app, which you can get on Google and Spotify if you want to activate your powers in real time. We also have webinars on the Shaman School, so you can catch up with some of the most powerful information that's been given to me by the divine spirits and beings and amazing beings out in the universe that love you, and talking about things that are not regurgitated in society, but things that have never been heard of before. And if you want to get involved with what we're doing, I do these lives every Tuesday. I love you. If I'm not doing it on a Tuesday, it's just because I have filming or something going on in my life that is taking up and preoccupying my time. We have an amazing webinar this Thursday. You can find it out on clicking on my link tree and going onto my website. It's going to be about you claiming your authority. We're going to be talking more in depth about the things I just shared with you. Next time we do our live, I'll bring some people up and do some live healings. But again, how did I get through the abandonment and not needing validation? Because I realized that the validation I was seeking was not a fulfillment to my soul. The validation that I was really seeking was I needed it from me. I needed to look in the mirror and know that I am amazing. I needed to wake up and say, baby, you got this. I needed to look at myself and say, if I don't like the way my body looks, then I'm going to change it. I needed to be the one who told myself how smart I am, how powerful I am, how creative I am, and what a beautiful soul I am. And I don't need to hear from anyone else because God has already given it to me, because that's why I exist. That is how I changed my abandonment issues. I realized that I felt abandoned. I started abandoning myself, and I had to get back to myself, start learning about myself, and really understanding myself on a soul level so that I can take it to the next level. All right, babies, I love you, but enough is enough with the nonsense. We don't have the time for the craziness that people want to play on this planet. People got issues. Oh, I don't like your color. I'm going to make a big thing about it. Who cares? That's your issue. You're stuck on the flesh. That's as far as you've gotten in your evolution. That's your choice, boo. That's not where I'm at. I don't care. What I care about is love for all people. And if people have a problem with that, so be it. I'm not here to decide what's right and wrong in our universe. What I'm here to decide is what I'm doing, what I'm contributing, and what I am showing up with every single day. If everyone else wants to act a fool, let them act a fool. But where I'm at, I'm going to stay in a place of love, in service, and honoring myself, my family, my children, and you. And that is what I care about. And everything else has got to go. And if you have gained something from this live, I'm very grateful. And if you haven't, I'm still grateful. I'm more than grateful. I'm appreciative. Because wherever you are in your evolution is where you are. And you have consciousness and awareness to lift that evolution to higher levels. And I'm here to support you as long as I have breath in my lungs. I'm here to support you to see the greatest you that could ever be. But I am not here as no guru, and I'm not here to do it all for you. You are a lit leader of legacy. You either walk side by side with me, but you do not walk behind me, because I will not be turning around and trying to give you a lesson. We are here in this thing together. Stand up and be who you were born to be. And I will see you soon. Mwah. Love you.